What's up, everybody? So next week I'm heading into Las Vegas for the NHL draft. When it comes to AI, if you've ever wondered why I talk about humans plus machines, not humans versus machines, check out the phenomenal article in The Athletic by Scott Wheeler describing the complexity of evaluating a global population of hockey players that includes a staggering amount of nuance, the kind that's purpose-built for human plus machine collaboration. Number one, the parity that exists in the NHL doesn't exist anywhere else in hockey. Quote unquote, the assumption becomes that point per game player X on team Y in League Z is better or will be than 0.75 point per game player A on team B in League C. And that often just isn't the case. The parity that exists in the NHL doesn't exist anywhere else in hockey. All 6 D1 NCAA conferences aren't created equal either. The reality is the Atlantic Hockey and CCHA don't produce the same kind of talent as, say, the Big Ten or Hockey East. Though all 3 of the SHL, KHL, and Liga now produce time on ice data and the excellent possession metrics that come with it, the same issues exist all across Europe. Beyond the context of team, league, line mates, and depth charts, you also have to consider age. Age is a hugely important piece of the puzzle for me in projecting, parentheses, which is ultimately what this is all about, and parentheses, a kid's development curve. It's important to remember that these are kids, and their development from one year to the next on and off the ice can be seismic. We can lose sight of that in all of the attention they get and their otherworldly, he can't possibly be 17 years old talent. They're teenagers. Their bodies are changing. Number 2, the size of the ice they play on matters a lot. We must also evaluate players and their skill sets through the size of the sheet of ice they play on. Whether that's the Olympic ice most common in Europe and played on at some major NCAA programs, the hybrid ice common to Finland, or the smaller surfaces in Canada, right down to the almost square corners of the Peterborough Memorial Center. Number 3, fluidity of hockey today is a big deal. Hockey at the highest levels is so fluid now that what's happening around a player is as important as the way a player reacts to it. Isolation helps build my knowledge of a player's raw skills, parentheses, I do a much better job picking up on the little details in a player's skill set when I'm honed in on them, and parentheses, but it can limit your understanding of a player's ability to read the game around them. Some players, parentheses, Edward Sale comes to mind in this year's class, and parentheses, can look great at isolation with the puck, but can struggle or drift within the hole. Number 4, jargon and comparables might mean different things in different buildings. Very different things. Comparables are my most common gripe. We all do them because you all eat them up. The same is true in television, but they aren't the best version of player analysis. They're the simplest. These can be interpreted in different ways. When we hear or read these terms secondhand, we superimpose our biases onto someone else's viewings. We try to interpret meaning, and our takeaway may not be what the person who is presenting it intended to be. Whenever possible, detail and description should always be the focus. They mitigate against that. Humans plus machines, not humans versus machines. Now you know why I say that. Here we go, NHL draft, and all those teams we're going to be sitting down with. Can't wait. See you in Las Vegas next week.